Well, hello and welcome and welcome and hello and welcome and hello and welcome. Buenas noches a todos. Hello and welcome, of course. It is Un Poco Mas, the show where we give you just a little bit more, guys. I've been on a bit of a hiatus, a bit of a sabbatical. Of course, it was nothing religious. It was just trying to recharge the old batteries. But the time has come to get back to work. We got to start making some money. There are taxes to be paid. There are mortgages. There are rents, luxury steak dinners, all kinds of stuff we got to pay for, don't we, guys? The bills, they never stop coming. Whenever I go out to get my mail, I'm like, what is it, honey? Bills or bills? Oh. And then I just start crying and just, get down into a fetal position, wait for the next day's bills. But anyway, guys, welcome and hello and welcome. It's Un Poco Mas. You want to do nicknames? People love the nicknames. They call me cornbread because I am moist, doughy, and I crumble under pressure. They call me the tugboat because I am short in stature. I pull more than my own weight, and I'm rarely far from my home port. They call me Stubby Cohiba due to an unfortunate manscaping accident I had living in Miami during the early 1980s. I used to manscape with one of those old Vitamix blenders, those stainless steel ones. And let's just say a stainless steel blade spinning at 30,000 RPMs near your genitals is a recipe for disaster. And ever since that fateful day, after several years in the ICU, ipso facto, long story short, horrible story, actually, a horrible bit. All my bits are horrible. Why did my career never go anywhere? Well, at least I'm good at picking stocks, if I'm not funny. But anyway, guys, that's why they call me Stubby Cohiba around Miami. Little Danny Cornbread DeCarlo around Vegas. I don't know, guys. Stock Heron, Hurricane Lopez, blah, blah, blah. The point is, if you haven't got the idea, guys, it's Un Poco Mas. You're watching. I don't know why. Clearly, you've made some bad decisions in your life. Find yourselves here, but that's where it is, guys. We're desperate for a stock pick. We need a horse tip. We're looking to buy Pokemon cards. We're trying to counterfeit a Honus Wagner, whatever it is. It's Payush. It's the big P representing Memphis, Tennessee. I see him dominating the comments, absolutely dominating as only Payush can. And if I don't miss my guess, Payush was probably buying that just little mini dip at the end of the day there, that little algo slow fade, little turd dip we had at the end of the day there with Sofi. I really likes that 14. I mean, and to be honest, I'm not super mad right now at Sofi, right around $14. Like I said, my target price on the stock, really was $13.75 for the longest time. They're not earning that much money yet. They're on a really good growth trajectory, but I'm not super concerned about the share price on Sofi because I'm just not. That's not really. I only trade it when there's just extreme volatility. Like if it's down at 8.75 or spikes up to $18, and I know it's gonna retrace obviously one way or the other. You got to play it, guys. You got to play some options. You got to little dipsy do, a little who's your mom. But anyway, guys, what was I talking about? Super microcomputer. So of course, this one is just this is just a bank for me. It just keeps paying. Up another $6 today to $45 even, another 16% down, 40 cents after hours. But if you look at what's going on over on Robinhood, it's actually back up over $45, which is inconsequential because the volumes on that forum are so low. But volume today was huge. Why do I think this thing's going to continue to go up? I'm not one to just make arbitrary levels. I try to actually, put the technicals and the fund. I just don't believe you can be a technical or fundamental. If you're a day trader, yeah, of course. If you're, a guy with a 10, 20 year, even 5-year time horizon, you go purely on fundamentals. But if you're trying to make these power trades, these swing trades, these, rapidly receding type of hairline, solid shirts, blue blazers, these sort of, tanning bed type of profits, you got to get your ass in gear. So you have to see this volatility for what it is. I mean, I'm going to be talking to you very soon about CRISPR. I believe CRISPR is about to make a massive, massive move to the upside. But that's not the point right now. Check out where this thing is, guys. So we came down into this wedge. It moved up nicely on script, gapped up here. Don't worry about this gap. So here we sit right where this blue line is. Now, this was resistance once here. Don't worry about these pump and dumps. There was no market made up here. It's just meaningless. It was resistance again here. This is basically where this fall started. Last point there was any true consolidation before this sort of Hindenburg deal where they've created all this false volatility through, shorting and whatever you want to call it, manipulation, price fixing. You can see these, monkey shitball rat hammer candles where they just drop the price of the stock 25 cents on very low volume. People are like, well, they can't fix the price of the stock. They can't fix the bid and the ask. They can, and they do. But it's fine. Don't worry about it. Just, trade from it, invest from it. And as long as you don't sell the dip and smell the rip, as long as you don't dump at the bottom, you're going to win in the end. But we saw what the institutions were doing. They continued to buy the stock. They bought all those dips. They created the dip. You saw the smart shorts were the ones with Hindenburg. They covered down at 18. These were the guys, making their position here, even here, but probably more here. And the stock dropped from 48. They probably, a lot of them were covering around 30, probably covering 26. And then the real, greedy bastards were probably covering down here around 20. Probably some of them covered afterward here in the 30s. Probably some of them got weak in the knees and broke even up here, like us pikers would. But, the point is with this level, once it clears this, you have this gap here, you have this gap here, but there's really nothing, it doesn't really consolidate until 60. And I really expect this stock, honest to God, again, people are going to say I'm crazy because it's at 45. I expect this stock to move in relatively short order toward 89. Why? It's not just that this chart is telling me once it clears this level at, in the high 40s, which I think it's going to very, very quickly because shorts haven't covered. They have to cover. They're upside down in their positions. They were completely late to the party. And now, BlackRock, Vanguard, the rest are going to hang them out to dry, and they're going to use them to push the price up and, do what they want to do and make money, 5 different ways, from options to whatever other kinds of trades they do that I'm not smart enough to understand. But the point is, this entire area from here to about here, 75 is just a complete no man's land. It's just a waterfall. It's false. It's just, this is not trading. This is created by the people that were in partner with Hindenburg and basically knew that non-inside information that they were going to release that report, crash the stock. I mean, you see the desperation. You see the desperation today. Who'd they trot out? Of course, they trotted out Goldman Sachs to reiterate the sell and drop the price target down to 24. I mean, this guy's a cooler. He's like Dalton in Roadhouse. You are the bouncers, I am the cooler. And he knows when not to be nice because the stock starts going up and his, short masters back in the front office start to panic and tell him to throw some cold pee on the stock. And he's all too happy to fling that yellow ice. Oh, what am I talking about? Who is this Alyssa Merchant with the, this sort of tepid soup, 37 and a whole? That's a cooler play there too. I mean, I don't trust Citi as far as I can throw them. Their management's better than they were a few years ago. I mean, that bank was in deep trouble. They're actually almost losing money. How does a giant bank lose money? Gross mismanagement. Same way we run things here at Unpoco Moss. But anyway, I don't know who this Asaya Merchant is. Excuse me, not Alyssa. Asaya, I don't know. Good analyst, good track record. But I don't know. It's just, 37 and a hold. Okay. Just weird. These ratings come out, you get this huge positive catalyst, and then, all you get on the day is 2 negative ratings, what I would view as negative ratings. Because, if you're saying, hey, the stock's worth 20% less, why hold it? That's what it's like, because so much is changing day by day, of course. But the momentum just couldn't be any stronger. I mean, this stock went to 120 and What are you seeing? The $20 billion deal with the Saudi Arabia is only the tip of the spear. It's like a game of just the tip. A lot of you folks may know what I mean. But no, so Saudi Arabia is not the only country with a sovereign wealth fund. I mean, they're already talking about, other countries still basically coming in. There's a lot of countries with sovereign wealth funds. There's a lot of countries that want to get ahead of the future, invest in AI, and, Supermicro Computer provides the fastest, the cheapest, the most dense, the best cooling. I mean, they say, oh, it's just a commodity. You're only competing. That's not true. SMCI has a better product. That's where, Kramer was out trashing SMCI again. He's like, super microcomputers, not so super. I couldn't see he's sick of people asking him about it. It's been a controversial stock. It's been up and down. It's been all, but I just don't see why he's pimping Dell so hard. Why does he think Dell is winning this battle? What does Dell have that Supermicro can't do in this space besides honest accounting practices? I don't see it. The people that I've talked to that actually know what they're talking about, they don't see it. They don't see all these problems that are being made up about Supermicro. I don't think. But if you read this story, Market Watch, anywhere else, what's happening? So the stock was trading 45-day high. Raymond James Analyst, Supermicro is a leader in AI optimized infrastructure with about 70% of revenue coming from AI platforms. Dell's not anywhere close to that. Dell's not growing for shit. They are growing in this space, but the same arguments that apply, the low margins and all this, they also apply to Dell. Dell has a bunch of legacy businesses dragging down. Supermicro Computer is far better situated in terms of their footprints all around the world. Supermicro Computer is probably double or triple as fast getting you actually up and running on these data. This is a race. You don't pick the turtle. You pick the wily hare. Anyway, guys. Yeah, Kramer. I mean, what is Kramer talking about? Just go with Dell because Michael Dell is a good guy with a good charitable trust. And Supermicro, he's resorting to these like childish, like ad hominem attacks. Like Supermicro computers not so super. He's like, it's like, okay, maybe you're sick of answering the question, but the fact is, vis-a-vis Dell, this thing is undervalued. Grossly undervalued. Why do I think it's going to keep going up? Short interest still 21%. That hasn't gone anywhere. Shares on loans still just going down like a waterfall. Nice 45-degree angle. The shares on loan were just 171 million beginning of May. They've already gone down 15 million just in the last like week or so. Week and a half, 2 weeks, the shares on loan have gone down 15 million. Shares on loan start to drop. Short interest is flat. It'll probably even start to go up as the price goes up a little bit. The thing's not just going to squeeze, but I think we're going to start having more announced big wins. That's what management said, when they were reporting their 4 or 5 delinquent earnings reports on that call. They're like, we are setting up to get these huge, huge contracts. And yes, that's a blessing and a curse because if you don't get them, you're totally fucked. But if you start to, get these things one after the other, the growth is going to be absolutely staggering. I think the growth already is staggering, going from 14 billion to, 21 billion, 15 billion to 21 billion. Even in this worst case, horrible year, you're going to grow the top line, 35%? When you're at the end of this product cycle, you're writing down inventory and you're still profitable. This quarter, with everything going on, these tariff fears could have swung to a loss quite easily. Now you're talking about everything coming up Millhouse, everything coming up tailwinds. They're talking about, they're already relaxing the tariffs. They're talking about taking off the chip restrictions to China. You have these Middle Eastern countries wanting to just start pouring money into AI. You have SMCI, I think poised to, dominate this business. Guys, hold on one sec. I'll be right back. Oh, Ben, take it easy, Darren. No, you're not chopped liver. It's too much tuna. Um, no, if you guys, I just sometimes the phone rings, the door is knocked, people come in. I got to just take a short break. So technical difficulties, technical difficulties. Yeah, I mean the new CFO turned out to be Vapor. That just never happened. Yeah, my hot pockets are ready. That's right. Would you like to know what I think about ACHR, QBTS? I have CRISPR. Um, Oh, CRISPR is about to go absolute because it's first, it's monetized, it's won the race. All the it's basically just beaten down because all these other gene editing stocks have failed to get to market. They failed to make the partnerships CRISPR had, and I think CRISPR is going to win the race. I think in a lot of ways they already have, and they're going to monetize gene editing. They're going to get therapies to market. They're going to be very, very profitable. They have a ton of stuff in their own pipeline that they don't even have any partners for. I just think they're better than these other companies in the space. So I don't think the gene editing space is a dead end by any stretch. I think it's very, very difficult, and I think CRISPR got it right. I love the CEO. If you've heard him interviewed, he's almost gobsmacked by how the market is not putting any value on his company. But that's neither here nor there. You can't tell the market what to do. But I just think if you look at CRISPR's chart, I think it's poised just to make a huge dramatic move to the upside, even bigger than this stock, bigger than SoFi. I think it's dramatically undervalued. People are just obsessed with the AI revolution right now, but there's no reason the gene editing revolution in medicine can't sort of get back in remember fintechs were all the rage, and then everybody was they fell out of favor for 6 quarters, and then they're back in favor again. Hood and Affirm and all the stocks to a lesser extent SoFi just sort of went crazy. These sectors are cyclical. A lot of the gene editing companies were sort of going bankrupt. There was a certain amount of consolidation. But CRISPR's already there making revenues, and it was just beat to hell the other day because Vertex had some setback with a painkiller medication that had absolutely nothing to do with them, but Vertex, their partner, which is another stock that I still like, bought that dip as well. But there's a lot of reasons I like CRISPR. I think that's the next stock I'm going to start pumping because I just think there's a tremendous amount of money to be made there. And I think they're the ones that are going to get over the finish line, get multiple therapies, approved in multiple markets and start selling these very, very high margin therapies. I think years ahead of the competition. That's what it's looking like to me. Oh, let's see, guys. The market's absolutely crazy. What's up, Not a Lurker, J Money, the greatest wrench in the history of U-Turd. Looks like Payush is buying Palantir, Nvidia, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Meta. Guys, I've been buying Google. I really bought Google off that dip around 150. Looked really, really good. Literally every stock moved back. Yep, they all, especially the Magnificent Seven, just came roaring back. But honestly, I think if you look at everything going on, like some of these countries are going to be buying AMD. All of them are working with SMCI. It's not just Nvidia. They make better products for all brands of processors. It's an agnostic, pure AI play. That's what Sir Raymond James is saying. You know him. He's been knighted by Meghan Markle. Makes him an ear. Oh, I love Meghan Markle. Let's see. Who's that guy? Tesla to 4. I mean, Tesla is like, bless you. Tesla is looking extremely strong. I mean, AI, the thing about these humanoid AI robots is they're already full blast in China. I mean, they're already where it's very hard to tell where Tesla actually is with the humanoid AI robots. It's such a black box. Like, I'm still holding my shares. I bought a bunch when last time it dipped like 125. And it went up. I sold some, like I said, like 450 or 4 something. I was tempted to sell it all. I was tempted to get out of Tesla because I was like, but I couldn't do it because I believe Elon Musk on the AI. I think he's the real deal. And I think they will get there. I think they're obviously ahead FSD in United States, and the FSD is at a deeper level. And but there's already these companies, what is it? Uber's partnered with Waymo, and they're coming to the Robotaxi. They're not, I'm not smart enough to know, but it doesn't seem to me like they have this dramatic lead in Robotaxi. They might have dramatic lead in the political inside, track to it. But I think a lot hangs on these robots. And I think I think the robot is real. I think it's actually coming. I think they made a huge mistake with Cybertruck. I think that killed the stock for, quite a long time. Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties. But yeah, we'll be talking about CRISPR. I still love Sofi. I mean, I'm not selling any shares, but I'm just not like, it was an amazing buy there at 875, 865. But I'm just not saying rush in right now to buy at 14. It seems to like that level a little bit. And, you guys have seen how this goes. Everything gets euphoric. It goes up. Then some, other shoe drops. You get this instability. You get this uncertainty. You get this fear creeping back into the market. Right now, you have so many bullish signals. It's like unemployment, inflation. Everything looks good. You're starting to cut these trade deals, sort of the tariff fears. I said, the world is not going to end. Global trade's not going to end. We're not going to destroy our own currency. Cooler heads will prevail. But with SMCI, I mean, like I said, you have very high institutional ownership, or quite high. You have extremely high insider ownership, but you have a passionate, frothing at the mouth, loyal base of returner idiots such as myself who hold a lot of shares and aren't going to let those shares go at 50 or 60. I'm not. I think this thing's wound up tight. I think Vanguard, especially BlackRock, I think they're going to run this thing up. And it's, like I said, it's easy to squeeze a tiny package. It's easy to make a tiny package explode with a small short squeeze. South of the equator, you're playing small ball. I like the double play combination of, say, Glenn Stubby Hubby and Mike Gallegos. If you're familiar with 1980s Oakland A's middle infield combinations. That's not only a short middle infield, it's an ugly middle infield. The gag man, Mike Gallegos, hell of a ball player, 3-tool player. Now, I don't know why I thought, I wouldn't describe Mike Gallegos as a handsome man. It's really neither here nor there. Sure, he's a nice guy, good family man. As far as Glenn Hubbard, kind of looked like he was like, one of the brothers on like the show Dallas. Something, put on like a cowboy hat. Jeremy, you're going to see a monster quarter. You're going to see this stock get run up, and they can run it up on any pretext. Oh, Raymond James farted and the stock just went up 50%. I mean, like a week. What is Raymond James, a Wizard of Oz? Does the guy have gold-plated testicles? I don't know, guys. Anyway, I try to feed these things. It's like these dramatic dips for no reason. It's on these Fugazi BS narratives. There's just so much free money to be made. It's like SoFi, 7 to 18, you could have had it. Palantir, I took 100% profit and missed 1,000% profit. But I never get mad at somebody for taking. Anytime I hit 100% profit on a trade, like, it wasn't really meant as a trade. I was just made 100% profit in a very short amount of time. I take some profits off the table. It's kind of an unwritten rule of mine. But in this case, rule that cost me a lot of money. Justin Moak, the 4-ounce mini. Honestly, I was so dehydrated and so thirsty. I've been sick. I've been really not feeling well. I don't know if you can see, I'm really pale and just hunched over and old and decrepit, just broken down. beat up like an old saddle. Look like I've been rode hard and put away wet. Look like my best days is behind me. Look like an out-of-work, door-to-door encyclopedia salesman, down on his luck, grasping at straws, reaching out to the world, saying, world, when are you going to let me sell just one set of encyclopedias? Don't even have to be a full set. Let me sell an A. Let me sell an A. Oh, pale. No, my paleness kind of comes and goes, just depending on how much sun I get. I mean, when I'm sick and dehydrated, and yeah, looks probably a little green more than pale, but you know, StreamYard corrects my appearance. Makes me look 30 years older and 100 pounds heavier. In real life, I look like a young Paul Newman. This is just a filter. Special filter they have for U-turners to give you more credibility. They age you 30 years, put about 100 pounds on you, give you a bunch of crow's feet. Real life, I look like one of the young characters off Party of Five. What do we do now, Charlie? It's like, I don't know. I'm your brother running a restaurant. What was the show? Did the parents die in a car crash and the kid had cancer? The parents had cancer and the kids died in a car crash? Can't really remember what the deal was at Party of Five. You guys miss Ray Pruitt? The musical stylings of Ray Pruitt. You ever think I never really liked The Girls Next Door, but I miss the acting of Hank Baskett? Oh, the mind, it wanders. Yeah, it certainly gives me credibility. What's going on, guys? Hello and welcome. This show, I don't know, guys. I know it's a train wreck, but I'm just trying to tell you, they shorted this thing today, guys. As soon as they let go, it starts to run, guys. As soon as they let go, just neutral. This isn't even a bunch of returning. 32%, 29%. It's a little bit of returning. And then back today, it's shorting the stock. But today they're shorting, not borrowing. It's not capitulation. It's desperation. It's like when you're caught in like Star Wars and like the trash compactor, you start just like clawing. It's like sheet metal. And R2 is trying to beep at you. Hey, stupid. Solid steel. They're going to claw through it with a gloved hand. Listen to the Wookiee. Make a plan. This hydraulic arm is about to smush us. You guys are just feebly acting like you're trying to swim out of here. Don't try to swim through the garbage. Try to exploit a weakness in the electronic system. Get this arm to stop. Maybe we'll live through this. Don't sub and like, guys. Folks are saying gamma squeeze before short squeeze. Guys, don't get caught up in that. Don't try to time it to the day. Even if you're going to swing turd, just look for stocks that shorts are shorting irrationally from levels that are too low, and the institutions in the know are just buying up all the shares hand over fist. And again, ask yourself, does Vanguard, these are the biggest traders in the world. They make the most profits. Vanguard, BlackRock. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to see what the hell's going on here. So anyway, welcome and hello and welcome. Why don't they just cover it's structural, Blake? There's options. They're going to get reamed on options. And also I think they look at this market and you think there's going to be news, could be news tomorrow that sends the stock down 20 points. But honestly, I don't think the Trump administration would have, blessed this deal with Saudi Arabia, and they did, blessed SMCI's participation. I don't think they would have done that if you're about to see the Justice Department indict them on this Russia bullshit. I I don't think these problems are going to come home to roost, Bobby Boucher. I just don't think those chickens come home to roost. I think Uncle Chuckie and Dirty Dave and Uncle Mo and Uncle Wally and Aunt Sarah, John Boy, all the rest of them, I think they got away with it. I think they committed the perfect crime. And I don't even think there was really a victim. Besides the shareholders that lost money through the fraudulent accounting. Those are victims. But hey, you know, break some eggs, make some omelets. Ipso facto, dipsy-do. Someone always ends up with egg on their face or poo on their shoe. It's the way of the world, folks. SMCI is deploying everywhere heavily. They're set up for worldwide domination, J-Mac. Great Jay Miller is here. Stephen Wolf, the creator of Law & Order, just likes to correct me. He said it was Dick Wolf. I assumed your nickname was Dick. Ho! Jack and Jill went up the hill. They each had $1.25. Jill came down with $2.50. You guys missed the dice, man. Ho! Yeah, Billy Jack, I just put up whatever time. It's like 11:55 p.m. So then I can start whenever I have time to start or whatever, or not. Pretty incoherent show, I got to say. I don't really understand the point, but I'm telling you, once this thing clears 48, it's going to go to 71. It's going to peter out somewhere between 75 and 92. And I think it's going to peter out right about 87 to 89. I know it's crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but it was just over 120 not long ago. And believe it or not, blips in the radar happen. There are retracements. You know, the drop down to $4.5 billion one quarter, it's not the end of the world. They're still profitable. They're still able to service their debt. There's no problem. I do wish we had that new CFO. I do wish the corporate governance wasn't, you know, that corporate governance, fake reform bullshit, Fugazi pull the wool over our eyes, scam, 3-card Monty, you know. Uncle Chuck, you promised us a new CFO who wasn't tainted, somebody bona fide. He ain't even bona fide. Paraphrase George Clooney's kid. Odysseus, whatever the fuck. The Odyssey. What was that slack-jawed version of the Odyssey they did? Oh, brother, for out thou. Dude, I'm here for you guys, man. I'm here for you guys. So, oh yeah, no, Justin, I would take I'm not saying I would like hold guys, I stagger my profits. I have different options. I have different strikes. I have long shares. I have SMCX. I'm always taking profits. I'm taking profits even on the mini pumping. I'm always taking profits. This is a trading stock. The false volatility is madness. It's free money. Look at the slopes of these lines. It's just absolute. CRISPR is going to be a freakish money press, in my opinion. The same exact. Now, ARK owns a ton of CRISPR. Guys, don't forget, Uncle Chuckie and Aunt Sarah, they own like 65 million shares. They own like 11 or 12% of the company. Just them. Just the CEO and his wife. Other family members, the insider ownership is like 27%. And companies like BlackRock, they can't stop buying this stuff. I know they trimmed their position a bit. Oh. Jeremy Miller grasping at straws, coming at Uncle Chuckie's accent. CRISPR, the company that made $900K last quarter. Yeah, I mean, Jeremy, you have to understand what the company is. They're not making a lot of money yet. They're just getting to market. You gotta research the company. I know they're not making money yet. I get it. Yeah, that was some grant payment or something. They get, big payments occasionally from Vertex. But yeah, it's early. I grant you that. I was in Sofi. I'm in a lot of these companies too soon. But rather than dump at the lows, I stay patient. I buy more at the lows. I sell covered calls. I trade options. I try to make money. And then when it pops, I make a ton of money. Or it's like SMCI. I've already made a ton of money on both runs, hundreds and hundreds. And then I'm going to make, I think, even more when it goes up to all-time highs because I plan to be in the stock at least over the medium term. I plan to be in the stock for the next several quarters, probably the next 6 to 8, maybe even 12, 16 quarters. I don't know. But to say SMCI is going to lose, the note trying to sell that they have an inferior product to Dell, to me, just defies logic and reality. Trying to sell that the corporate governance issues are going to sink this company, to me, is also completely unrealistic. To me, saying that they're losing market share, not the case. They're actually gaining market share where it matters in the AI space. You don't want these unprofitable legacy, PC businesses and all this BS that Dell's dealing with. Why do you think HPE crashed and basically left the battlefield and ceded it to Dell and SMCI and a few of the other players? They talk about SMCI occupying this, really nice position between the white box players and the Dells. It's more cost effective, but you get the personal. The only thing they don't really sell, on an ongoing basis is sort of the consulting as a service type of stuff. But don't think they can't add a lot of that. That's much higher margin play. But again, they're just an infant that just had a massive, massive growth spurt. Think about a very awkward, like junior high school kid, like, Joseph Gribble. Hey, Bobby, I've got a mustache now. It's like you just, you left for summer camp and you come back, you see the guy, all of a sudden he's, 5'10" with 6-pack abs and a mustache, driving around John Redcorn's Jeep Wrangler, top down. But when you have that type of a growth spurt, you're often awkward. It's like a kid who's 7. We had this kid, he was playing junior high basketball. He's like 7 feet tall, but he couldn't take a step without falling over his own feet because he grew so fast, so awkwardly that his muscles and coordination hadn't nearly caught up. Now, by the time he was in college, I'm sure he was, a hell of a basketball player. Or he developed a drug problem and, flamed out, and he's gone through a series of rehabs, and now he's making pottery somewhere in Delaware, for all I know. Or I meant to say New Hampshire. But you get the point. Playing a lot of hacky sack, bro. Working on my soul patch game. Jeremy Miller, you go with the vinegar. You go with the no honey, all vinegar program. Catching any flies, buddy? Their service arm is going to explode. Maybe not. I don't think the business needs that to, for the stock to. But if they are able to do that, it just, it's a game changer. It's an absolute game changer. What's going on, Mr. Not a Lurker? The great Not a Lurker is here. The great Mr. Premium the Option is here. Well, you cannot get this hat unless you want, sweat stains. It's not available. It's masking my quickly receding hairline and my shiny head. Absolutely limited edition to a run of 1. Getting better English every earning. I mean, guys, come on. Dude, the man's a genius. What have you ever done? Guy's building a worldwide company, employing thousands and thousands of people, billions of dollars in sales, advancing what could be the greatest development in the history of mankind. You guys want to make fun of him because he has bad teeth and an accent. I think it says more about you than it does about no. But I'm as juvenile and stupid as it gets. I mean, I laugh at fart jokes. So I'm right there with you. You know, if I didn't like the stock, I'd be making fun. Like I'm making fun of Vlad and his soul patch. I say no serious person has a soul patch, just as their primary and only facial hair. So many reasons I don't trust Vlad. Looks like an Orlando Bloom, you know, lighting stand-in. Looks like the Captain Morgan's guy. Looks a little bit too much like Parker Schnabel from Gold Rush for my taste. Can't get any cooperation out of Tony Beats. I love to cooperate with you, Parker. But you can go fuck yourself. Thanks, Tony. Appreciate it. Yeah, anytime, Parker. Anytime you need something, you can just, go fuck yourself. Norwegian Tony Beats was feeling a bit salty after his daughter crashed an excavator into his rectum. How did you get this thing all the way into my ass? You guys ever do a bunch of bits on Gold Rush, like an open mic, and get violently attacked by a pandemic audience? Oh, it's good fun. Well, where's Marco Guzar? I need some dabs. My dab guy. I still don't know what dabs are. I think it's some kind of pot. It's a wacky weed. Wheeling, Idaho got me. I had covered calls at 35. I'll probably just let it go and sell cash secured puts. I don't blame you for selling those covered calls, Wheeling in Idaho. They were holding this thing in that range, 31, 33, 35, barely could touch 37 occasionally. So, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. The minute you sell the covered calls, the fucking thing takes off like wildfire. It's just story of my life. Christmas for me was a TV dinner and a steel toe boot to the face. So I know where you're coming from. Oh, Sofi could be well higher than 20. I mean, it just went to 18. I think the next run will be at least high, mid to high 20s. Sofi is a great company. It's a monster in the making. They're about, they just hit that break-even point. So much of the revenue they bring to the bottom line now is going to be profit. That's why just the way this company is structured, it's a money press. It's designed to have great margins. Like making fun of, it's a legacy business. Lenny, what's wrong with doing something that is proven over eons to be extremely profitable and stands the test of time, but do it in a new, more efficient way and raise the margins? And then you want to talk, durable competitive advantage vis-a-vis Robinhood. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care if it's credit. You can't make a business on payment for order flow fees and scale it. It's not, it's not going to work. They're a lender to, what do you think credit cards are? What do you think they do? What do you think they're trying to get into banking right now? They're just talking about banking, but they're not a bank. They built their foundation. They built their house in the wrong order. They went for the flash. They went for the neon. They went for the pixie dust. They went up front for the Peruvian wham wham. Well, these guys were in the back in the, in the John, in the men's room, gathered around some filthy, disgusting shitter stall, just doing, bunch of nose candy, a bunch of Peruvian wham wham. Anthony Noto was at home studying, doing hard work, designing custom windbreakers, getting that perfect haircut, getting tastefully Botoxed so it looks natural. Maybe just a mini lift, a mini facelift. I don't know. Still won't talk to me. My biological father, Anthony Noto. Brick and mortar giving you 0. I mean, SoFi's blowing up. I mean, they added 800,000 members. They're, I think this next quarter, when you start getting into football season, they'll be adding well over 1 million members a quarter. The momentum is there. The snowball is rolling downhill. It's going to turn into an avalanche. As it gathers steam, the momentum going downhill, and you're going to see all kinds of new products now. That's what, Anthony knows. Like, do I look like a guy who doesn't know what needs to be done? Or do I look like a guy who knows what needs to be done and then doesn't do it? You guys don't understand what you're talking about. And I believe that was a direct shot at the Canadian fin turd mafia, who I love, dear personal friends. So what's your take on the emerging pattern? Do you think it will form a W? The emerging pattern just on the markets in general, or this stock in particular, or I don't know. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Over what time period? I mean, we can just click around. I don't think there's really any pattern. I think it's just algo holding it. If you look at where it started, I mean, this is the beginning of December is the exact same level it was at yesterday. You got to just take out this pump and dump for what it was. Market makers start and use pump and dump strategically to draw in retail at the top, confuse retail. They're looking for emotion. They don't care if it's positive or negative. They just want you to trade on emotion. If they can get you trading on emotion, they've already won. That's why you need to learn from a complete psychopath like myself. Devoid of any emotion. I learned all my trading from that guy, American Psycho, Patrick. I love the business card scene, Papyrus. Anyway, guys, this has been the thrill of my life, but I do have to run. I am going to talk about CRISPR. I'm going to talk about Sofi. I'm going to talk about all this fun stuff, but SMCI, I firmly believe it's going to break down 71, go to the mid 80s, possibly the low 90s, but my home skillet over here on the right is definitely right that you should start to take profits as it goes up because nobody can call the tops and the bottoms. Take profit where it makes sense to you, and don't get caught watching the paint dry. Peace. I'm out.